How you doing, guys? Welcome back. We're going to do a really quick review of the altcoins, just so you know where we are. Bitcoin looks like it's going down. It's made a lower low today, and yeah, it's not looking good. We whipped to 40,800, quickly fell below about an hour ago, and yeah, put in a low of 40,404. Quite a round figure to remember, and yeah, where we are now is we're struggling to get back above. So watch the Bitcoin video, please, and you'll know what to expect. So we'll jump into KNC. KNC is looking really bullish, if I'm being honest. Wants to go higher, so if it manages to hold above 167 where we are at the moment, next stop will be 186 for a good 10% move plus. Yeah, it's looking good. It has just been rejected at 167 actually, but overall it is looking decent. Clover not doing much. Put in a low back to our second lowest point to get to at 51. If we can't hold that, we're going to come back to 41.7. It's quite a steep drop from where we are, so look out for a protection bounce with Clover. That does not mean it's bullish, just that it doesn't want to lose to 51. Gods, poor Gods, it's really suffering. So realistically for Gods, we are gonna come back to 263, and we should expect to see a bounce from there, which would get us back to this support resistance zone that we were in. So that's the pattern to expect on Gods. Cardano, I keep losing my chart. I don't know why. Every time I pull away, it just takes my chart. It's very frustrating. So yeah, what I said on Cardano previously, I did make a little video, but it was too long, so YouTube rejected it. But Cardano is either going to be coming back to $1.02, or we're going to be having a little move up to 170, 173-ish. Now that's very dependent on what happens with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin decides to hold sub 40,000, we're going to come back to $1.02. And as I'm long term on Cardano, I think that would be a good entry point, but that's not financial advice. Oasis is suffering. I think the Rose is going to have a little back test at 38 before we have a move back up to meet the cloud. Essentially, probably move sideways, maybe through it, and then we'll wick above. So short term, I think we are going to come back down to 38 before we move back up towards 50 area. Spell's not looking too bad, hasn't suffered majorly with Bitcoin. Very similar to KNC. It's in an element of consolidation. I think we're going to get into the cloud, break above, have a small bounce, and be gone. Otherwise, we're going to see some sideways action for the next 2 days before we have a nice little leg up. ACH, again, not in a terrible place either, considering what's just happened with Bitcoin, although we are dropping like a stone within the last hour. So lowest that we could go and still be bullish would be 47. Loop ring, I've lost my chart again. Yeah, we're going down. So loop ring, let's just have a quick look. Yeah, lower lows, never pretty. Loop ring, realistically, the absolute bottom should be 62. If we don't come down that far, all good and well. Next stop would be 91, which would be a 10% drop from where we are. POWR, ouch. POWR has just come back to, where is that? Is that a 618? Let's have a look. Yeah. So POWR's just come back to the 618 and literally this minute fallen clean through it. Okay. So POWR would really need to hold the 618 and have a little protection bounce realistically back up to 62. Otherwise, we're in danger of following this trend, which was kind of not worst case scenario, but slightly expected. That we'd come back to 51.4 before having a bounce, but I did expect us to move there in a sideways pattern as opposed to just dropping like a stone. The faster we fall with these coins, the harder it's going to be to climb back up. So we don't want to see things like this happening. Falling into the cloud, it's not that detrimental long term, because obviously as long as we have some sideways action. But it looks like now for the third hour, we've been trying to hold 618 and we've lost it, and we're going down. So next stop will be 51.4. Not looking too bad. It would be good to see it hold and break back above 356. If it can't, realistically, we're going to come back to about 2.8. There probably will be another zone of support within there. I can't see us dropping from 3.5 to 2.8. That's a big old drop. That's about 15% drop. However, it's not off the table. Gitcoin, if we don't have a small bounce and break above the 618 from where we are and consolidate, we will look to do something like this. However, next stop, unless there's another support to stop hit, is nearly a 50% drop. So let's just jump out to the daily real quick, see what's going on with Gitcoin. Yeah, if we lose 826, then we're going to go lower, and I will have a quick look to see where that could be. So if we lose 826, we'd be looking at 711, some pretty steep drops, and after 711 we have 620, and then after that, we're back down to where we began on the all-time low. Wow, all-time low of 465. I can't see us coming back. I can't see us coming back that far. That's 50. That's literally a 50% drop from where we are currently. So I'd like to see us have a little protection bounce at 836. But if not, you've got the zones to look out for there. BADGER has just made it back to the cloud. It looks like we've had a little bounce off of it, which is great to see. How recent was that bounce? The last minute. So we would need to see a little wick up now. Otherwise, there's a strong possibility we're going to move lower. Not wanting to move the chart, but yeah, strong possibility that if we don't hold where we are, we're going to slide into this pattern here. But it'd be nice to sideways and then bounce off at the cloud, show some bullish momentum. And ribbon does seem to be following our worst case scenario. So if we don't hold 266, we're going to come back to circa 206. Now, I will say I did expect Bitcoin to have a downturn, hence why some of these price predictions were already put in. So you've got best case scenario. If the coin's super bullish, you've got the second choice of if Bitcoin's moving sideways or the token's trying to decide what it's going to do. Then you've got obviously Bitcoin's taking a dump, and then what could happen. So clearly Bitcoin's taking a dump. So most of these worst case scenarios will be playing out. It's not financial advice, but you always have to do what's best for you. If that means you need to retrieve your funds at this point and re-review in a couple of days what's happening with Bitcoin, that's strong advice. And as you can see, in the last 7 minutes, Bitcoin has just made a new low today of wow, it's just made another new low. I can't keep up. Come on, Bitcoin, give me a chance. New low, 39,931. So yeah, the low is clearly not in for today. doesn't look good. Doesn't look good at all. Yeah, doesn't look good. Alright guys, not financial advice. I will always say you need to do what's right for you at this moment in time, but it is looking like we're entering a bear market. It does feel like that's slightly confirmed now, and if we don't see essentially if we fall into this dark zone, which is sub 38, we're in a bear market. There's a strong argument that we've been in a bear market since circa the 26th of November. You know, we made an all-time high. You expect a level of sell-off, but from the moment we started losing significant support, and then 4th of December we had a catastrophic move out and down, and since then we've just been consolidating downwards. So let's just see what that looks like as the trend. Yeah, we've kind of sat pretty tight on a downward trend. So if we've been below it, we've tried to get back above. We haven't really had a move from that trend line. So I hope that's showing you what it's showing me, that we're in a significant downward pattern and we're pretty much clinging to that trend line. I'm not going to say we're in a bear market until we hit and hold within this zone. So until that happens, I'm still super bullish, but I'm now leaning more towards falling into a bear market, just as an FYI. And that does mean that some tokens will take off. Some behave really well when Bitcoin's performing badly, and I'll cover those in future videos, probably over the weekend. And yeah, best of luck guys. Not financial advice any which way. However, I hope I'm showing you the information which is true and transparent, that Bitcoin is not looking good, and as such the market is being sucked in with it. See you all in the next one.